If you feel exhausted without knowing why, drained by invisible weights nobody talks about, you could be emotionally overloaded. Listen carefully, because what I am about to share will completely change the way you see your own emotions and relationships. We live in a culture that celebrates accumulation. More followers, more friends, more commitments, more notifications, more everything. But nobody warns you about the silent cost of carrying too much inside your heart and mind. Emotional minimalism is not just another trendy concept from self-help books. It is a radical practice of internal liberation that teaches you to identify, filter, and release everything that drains your energy without offering anything valuable in return. Think about your daily routine for a moment. How many conversations leave you feeling completely empty? How many obligations do you accept simply because you fear disappointing others? How many times do you scroll through social media and end up feeling inadequate, behind, or insufficient? These are not random feelings. They are symptoms of emotional clutter, an invisible accumulation that weighs as much as physical clutter, but receives zero attention from most people. The science behind this is fascinating. Neuroscience shows that unresolved emotions create constant mental noise, activating your stress response system repeatedly throughout the day. Your brain treats emotional overload the same way it treats physical danger, releasing cortisol and adrenaline that keep you in permanent alert mode. This explains why you feel tired even after sleeping 8 hours, why your focus vanishes in seconds, why anxiety seems to follow you everywhere. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are simply carrying burdens that were never meant to be yours. The emotional weight of trying to please everyone, of maintaining relationships that no longer nourish you, of consuming content that triggers comparison and inadequacy. All of this piles up silently until one day you wake up feeling suffocated without understanding exactly why. Here is what most people miss. Emotional minimalism is not about avoiding feelings or becoming cold and distant. It is about choosing consciously what deserves space in your inner world. It is about recognizing that your emotional energy is finite and precious, and you have every right to protect it fiercely. The transformation begins with awareness. Start asking yourself 3 simple but powerful questions every single day. First, what made me feel lighter today? Second, what drained my energy completely? Third, what am I doing purely to avoid conflict or rejection? These questions plant seeds of consciousness that will gradually reveal patterns you never noticed before. You will start seeing clearly which relationships are reciprocal and which ones are one-sided energy vampires. You will notice which habits generate peace and which ones create internal chaos. But here is the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to hear. Awareness alone changes nothing. You can know exactly what drains you and still continue doing it because letting go requires courage, boundaries, and sometimes difficult conversations. So the real question becomes this: are you ready to face the discomfort of change, or will you keep carrying weights that are crushing you slowly every single day? The answer to that question reveals everything about your future. Because here's what happens when you finally decide to stop carrying emotional excess. You reclaim your life. Let me break down exactly how emotional accumulation happens without you even noticing. Imagine your mind as a house. Every unresolved argument is furniture you never throw away. Every resentment is a box stored in the basement. Every uncomfortable emotion you suppress is clutter piling up in the corners. Over months and years, this house becomes so crowded that you can barely move freely inside your own thoughts. You start feeling trapped, anxious, and overwhelmed, but you cannot pinpoint exactly why, because the accumulation happened gradually, invisibly. Relationships are the biggest source of emotional clutter for most people. We maintain friendships out of obligation, romantic connections out of fear of loneliness, family dynamics out of guilt. These relationships operate like background apps on your phone, constantly draining battery even when you are not actively using them. The notification is always there, taking up mental space, demanding attention you do not want to give. Pay attention to these warning signs. After spending time with certain people, do you feel energized or completely exhausted? Do conversations feel balanced, or do you always play therapist while your needs get ignored? Do you feel free to be yourself, or do you constantly edit your words and behaviors to fit their expectations? These questions expose relationships that cost more than they contribute. And yes, it feels harsh to evaluate people this way, but let me tell you something crucial. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is survival. Now let us talk about the habits that silently destroy your emotional well-being. The first thing most people do when they wake up is grab their phone. Within seconds, you are bombarded with news designed to trigger fear, social media posts that spark comparison, messages demanding immediate responses. Your nervous system shifts into overdrive before you even get out of bed. This is not accidental. Technology companies engineer these platforms specifically to capture and hold your attention by exploiting your emotional vulnerabilities. Every scroll is a microdose of anxiety. Every notification is a small interruption that fragments your focus. Every algorithm is designed to show you content that keeps you engaged, which usually means content that makes you feel inadequate or afraid. You consume information that tells you that you are not doing enough, not achieving enough, not looking good enough, and you wonder why you feel emotionally drained by noon. Here is what changed everything for me personally. I deleted my social media accounts completely, not because I am against technology, but because I recognized that my relationship with these platforms was toxic. I was giving away my attention and emotional energy to strangers while neglecting my own thoughts and needs. The first week felt uncomfortable, almost like withdrawal. But then something beautiful happened. Silence became my default state instead of chaos. I started hearing my own thoughts clearly for the first time in years. The constant comparison stopped. The anxiety decreased dramatically. I reclaimed hours every single day to invest in activities that actually nourished my soul instead of depleting it. But deleting social media is just one example. The principle applies to everything. Which habits are you maintaining simply because everyone else does them? Which commitments do you accept automatically without checking if they align with your values and energy? Which emotional patterns do you repeat because they feel familiar, even though they make you miserable? Here is the next critical question. If you could design your ideal emotional life from scratch, what would you absolutely refuse to include? If you answered that question honestly, you already know exactly what needs to go. The challenge is not knowing. The challenge is doing. Let me give you the practical roadmap for implementing emotional minimalism starting today, right now, in your actual life. First, understand that this is not an overnight transformation. You did not accumulate this emotional weight in a week, so releasing it will take time and patience. But every small step creates momentum. Start with micro changes that feel manageable. Choose one relationship that consistently drains you and establish a clear boundary. This does not require dramatic confrontation. Simply reduce contact gradually. Respond less frequently. Decline invitations politely. Create distance without cruelty. You will feel guilt at first because you have been conditioned to prioritize other people as comfort over your own well-being. That guilt is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is proof that you are finally doing something right. Next, audit your daily habits with brutal honesty. Take one full day and track how you feel after every activity. After scrolling social media, how do you feel? After watching news, how do you feel? After certain conversations, how do you feel? Write it down. The patterns will shock you. You will discover that activities you thought were relaxing actually increase your stress. You will notice that people you considered friends actually leave you feeling worse. This awareness is gold because you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. Once you see the patterns clearly, you can start replacing draining habits with nourishing rituals. Trade 15 minutes of social media for 15 minutes of silence or deep breathing. Instead of consuming content passively, create something with your hands. Instead of texting superficially, have one deep conversation with someone you truly love. These swaps might seem small, but they compound dramatically over time. Here is the beautiful truth about emotional minimalism. The benefits are immediate and profound. Within days, you will notice better sleep quality because your mind finally has space to rest. Within weeks, decision-making becomes clearer because you eliminate the noise that clouds judgment. Within months, your relationships transform because you stop attracting people who drain you and start connecting with those who reciprocate your energy. Your anxiety decreases. Your confidence increases. You discover who you actually are underneath all the expectations and obligations you have been carrying. And perhaps most importantly, you start living with intention instead of reaction. You choose what you feel instead of being controlled by external circumstances. You select carefully who gets access to your energy. You design your days around what matters instead of what is urgent. This is not about becoming emotionless or detached. It is about becoming selective and protective of your inner peace. The path forward is simple but not easy. It requires you to disappoint people sometimes. It demands uncomfortable conversations and difficult decisions. It asks you to prioritize yourself, even when society tells you that is selfish. But here is what I know for certain. After years of practicing this, carrying less emotional weight does not mean caring less about life. It means caring more about the right things. It means investing your finite energy into relationships and activities that actually deserve it. It means honoring yourself enough to say no to what depletes you and yes to what fulfills you. You deserve to feel light. You deserve relationships that energize rather than exhaust you. You deserve to wake up without that heavy feeling of dread. Emotional minimalism offers you exactly that, but only if you are brave enough to let go of what no longer serves you. If this resonates deeply with you, I invite you to join our community by subscribing. Not because I need numbers, but because you deserve ongoing support and reminders that choosing yourself is not selfish. It is sacred. Every week, we explore practices that help you protect your peace and live with more intention. You are not alone in this journey, and having a community that understands makes all the difference. Click subscribe and let us walk this path together toward lighter, freer, more authentic living.